Hello, good evening, and welcome to Under the Hood. It is Monday, February 6th. I'm Eli Karp, host of Under the Hood, and safe to say we're going to be talking about only one thing tonight, the greatest game ever played. And before we dive into it, let's meet our panel today. Rock the Barn, no surprise, he's here. Eric's back, first time in a few weeks. Happy is here as usual, and Spentano is on for at least a few minutes tonight talking about the Super Bowl that his Cowboys did not play in. So let's get right into it. I have a whole list of things that so many storylines about this game. It's just unreal. And I think once it went to overtime, everybody immediately called it the greatest game ever played because, frankly, it's the only Super Bowl, which is the most important championship game that has ever gone into overtime. And so by that virtue, it is already the greatest game ever played. Even though the first quarter was scoreless, but it was not interesting until the fourth quarter. Honestly, I was rooting for my box numbers for three quarters, and then things got really interesting. So, obviously, please, if you're watching, submit your questions. Very entertaining game last night. We'll be happy to answer them. Talk about them with you. Yes, Tom Ken. You're very funny, I must say. Tom Ken is with us tonight. I'm sure he's very happy with the outcome of yesterday's game. And I have to start off. I'll give it to the panel in a second. If you're new, if you haven't watched, it's very well documented. I am a Giants fan. I don't like the Patriots. I don't really care about the Falcons one way or another. But it's not like I was really rooting for the Falcons so much, against the Patriots so much, because frankly, this win only cements the Giants' legacy even more. They're the only team to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. They're the only team to beat the Patriots. No one else can do it. So the fact that they're the only team to do it and that they did it twice speaks volumes. So I was not, again, I'm annoyed because the New England fans are not going to shut up for the next 15 years about how Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. And he is the greatest quarterback of all time. He is. But they're never going to stop talking about this one time. And yeah, it's annoying having the Patriots win because they always win. But you know what? It's not as annoying as it would have been against. I'm not too annoyed about it because the Giants are far and away the only team to ever beat the Patriots in this kind of a game. So with that, I'll turn it over to you guys. Chat away, rock the barn. Let's start with you because I know, unfortunately, I was watching the game in a very bad place with cell reception, so I could not track what people were saying on Twitter. I was very late responding to the group chat, so it was quite the entertaining evening seeing the texts come in late and following people's emotions and trail of thoughts. All right, rock the barn. Wearing your Walter Payton jersey.
Well, for starters, was looking up for me all the way up until the fourth quarter. The Patriots were going to lose the Super Bowl. I would not have to hear from any of the fans, and it all just went down.
Were they calling you?
Yeah, a couple of my friends texted me, making fun of me because I was talking smack the whole game. It really backfired. Besides the point though, it just bothers me how the Patriots win all the time. The Jets never win, ever. They can't even make it to the playoffs anymore. And the fact that everything just seemed to go the Patriots' way in the fourth quarter. I mean, I think the fake or onside kick was in the third quarter, but the Falcons still could not capitalize on that. Nothing in the fourth quarter went completely in the way of the Patriots, in my opinion. And who calls a pass interference penalty in overtime in the biggest game on national television? Pretty much the biggest Super Bowl ever, the greatest Super Bowl ever, and they call a pass interference. Yes, he wasn't looking, but his arm was in the way. His arm was there, and the ball hit his arm before he pretty much touched Martellus Bennett.
Okay, but to be fair about that wasn't third down or fourth down, was it?
No, it's first down.
I think
It was
No, it was first down.
No,
So
yeah.
just-
still
either first
it
or
is
second.
easier to score a touchdown at the 2-yard line than it is from the 11.
fair, but fair. Is that all for you? And we'll go on to Eric.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, just take us through your path of emotions and exactly. I don't want to hear about the Falcons from you. I want to hear exactly your thoughts on what the Patriots were doing throughout those 4 quarters.
Oh, it's my specialty. Going up into the game, I felt really confident because I honestly thought Atlanta's defense was awful. But first quarter, no score. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be a close game. I really didn't think it was gonna be. Second quarter goes absolutely off. I almost storm out of the room when it was 21-3. When Edelman gets that punt return a couple minutes into the half, I'm like, all right, momentum swung in our way. And then we don't do anything on it. Brady gets sacked twice. Then they get another touchdown, 28-3. I'm like, this is done. And I said, pull the Max Kellerman right here. All right, Brady, show me what you can do. This is your time. It's your legacy. He has a 25-point comeback in the Super Bowl where no one has ever come back from more than 10.
Which was his record before.
Correct. His and I think 2 other guys. But 4 possessions. It would have been 3, but, Mr. Unclutch Gostowski. I would call him something, but it's not. I'm not going to say it on this airway.
Yeah, we're going to keep it PG.
Yeah. Makes that extra point. But as the game goes on, I just keep thinking there's no way this is going to happen. I keep checking ESPN for their probability of winning. Just why not? I think it was the lowest for us. I think it was 99.5 for us to lose. I'm like, yeah, we got this. So we get the touchdown. We're down 16. Hightower makes the sack. I completely restore faith. 100%. We're winning this game. And I just know from that moment we're gonna win. And then
So you're on the sideline. You're like, yes, we're gonna win. My team is going to win.
So then comes overtime. The longest coin toss, literally, in the history of coin tosses.
Matthew, I was kind of I couldn't quite hear because where I was, didn't really hear much of the audio, but all I thought about was the Jets game where Matthew Slater, all the confusion between he and Cleet Blakeman, and all I thought was, oh God, what's happening here? This seems to be taking a while, but all right, keep going.
But then overtime comes. We get the ball. Brady marches down the field and throws. Second touchdown. No, my bad. Gets them in great position. James White. This is someone who Eli, you pointed out before. I always pick on one guy and just emphasize the name.
Yeah.
James White was that guy for his first 2 years here, and up until about halfway the season, I still thought that. I'm like, all right, this guy can play now. He breaks a Super Bowl record with 14 catches for I think it was 130 something yards. That is incredible out of a running back. And then Brady, the god himself, 466 yards. It's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. There's no other way to slice it. Again, if you're watching, please submit your questions. Tom Ken, if you're still watching, Diamond Sword, if you happen to log on tonight, I'm sorry, your friend has a hair appointment across town. He couldn't make it tonight.
He's a Falcons fan now.
Why would he be? Oh, because he likes to losing the teams after they lose.
No,
All right.
I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, where were you going with that? Happy?
What? Oh, about. So wait.
One of your things from last night. Just one of your main things.
I mean, I don't know what to say that's already been said, but I think one thing that you said is that the game was kind of boring until the end of the game. I think it was.
It was.
It had its moments. I mean, Julio made a pair of nice catches on the sideline.
Yeah.
They had the pick six.
Yeah, I'll get to Julio in a minute.
I think, like most people, I enjoy seeing Tom Brady got hit, and I think he got hit 14 times this game.
It was 16 at one point, and that was before the game was over. So
and then he got 2 of the hits back because he's God.
Yeah. Something like that. But yeah, just so I think the play that really just defined it was the Donta Hightower sack that really pushed them out of range. And then,
Oh my God, no question.
That was the play that defined the game.
The game was lost on that sequence. The play that goes overshadowed, the two plays, obviously, Matt Ryan, the Patriots are coming back. Matt Ryan putting together a really solid drive, ready to put this thing away, put it on ice. Arthur Blank had been standing on the Falcons sideline since the beginning of the fourth quarter. He was just ready to walk onto the field at any moment. And so Julio, I think it's third down. I think it was third down. Julio makes an otherworldly catch. Some people are saying that's the greatest catch I've ever seen. I'm not going to go that far.
No.
It was a top 5 catch, just based on it was a perfectly thrown ball, only where the receiver could get it. It barely out of the reach of the DB, and unreal toe tap by Julio. The greatest catch of this game.
It was like the Santonio Holmes catch.
Exactly, the greatest catch of this game until David Tyree 2.0 happened. And if there was no David Tyree 2.0, that catch would probably go down as the defining moment in this game. But right after that, Kyle Shanahan, who was just officially made the San Francisco 49ers head coach a couple of hours ago, decides that he really wants to be aggressive and go for it. And instead of just getting a few yards or maybe at most losing a couple of yards running, if they can't get anything, and making it a mid to high 40s field goal, he decides to drop back and pass it. And Matt Ryan is good, but it should things have gone the way they should have, it would have looked like a genius. The thing was put on ice, but it backfired. And the minute that the holding penalty and then the sack, that was it. The game was given away then. They could have gone up 31-20, and yeah, sure, if there's a little more time on the clock for the Patriots, gives them another shot. But honestly, it's two possessions. I don't think they would have come back from 2 possessions. No, sure, they came back from 25 points. They were not coming down 11 points with 3.5 minutes to go, if that. The game was Kyle Shanahan lost the game. I mean, right there. That was the defining moment of this game. Matt Bryant, sure, he could always miss the field goal, but he's had a great season, and I would have put my money on him making it an 11-point game. I don't know if anyone disagrees. Does anyone obviously, in hindsight, it's 2020. Does anyone disagree with the play call? Or does anyone agree with with his play call?
Everyone disagrees.
Does anyone just disagree with me? Does anyone agree with the play call in that situation? No. Wow, we are just so exotic.
I mean, it's...
All right, Sventana, let's hear your thoughts on this game. You may not be a Patriots fan, but you're surrounded by too many.
Yeah, my dad, hit his finger on the ceiling when he jumped up on the touchdown.
Hope he has good health insurance.
I think that Patriots fans can stop complaining about the Tyree catch now. After the Edelman catch, I think those cancel each other out. And then
but was Brady's escape really as good?
Nah.
Just don't understand it. There's 2 guys going from his back, and there's one guy that goes through him and somehow doesn't knock the ball far enough away.
It was eerily similar to the Jermaine Kearse catch. Yeah. Just not necessarily the exact mechanics, but the way it happened with the surroundings and the magnitude of the circumstances. And this time it went the Patriots' way. So at that point, after the sack, and that happened, all right, this could be going to OT here. All right, continue.
Yeah, and that catch was it was skilled. I'll say that because he had to concentrate on that. It wasn't just Kearse where he just turned over and he's like, "Oh, I have the ball."
I swear, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick implanted a fan blowing up at the 35-yard line so that when the ball decided it was going to hit the ground, it somehow magically levitated and it stood there for him to snatch it. Because I honestly don't know how that thing just popped up without even touching the ground.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then just I thought, I'm okay, Atlanta, you finally did it. You finally didn't choke in the playoffs when it comes to sports. Then I think the Braves lost 4 World Series in the 90s or something.
They do have
And-
one to win.
And then the Falcons in the playoffs the last few years, they just have been a joke. Like, you finally did it. You finally dominated. And then the most Atlanta possible thing happened to them. They're like a light Cleveland, basically, when it comes to sports. It was very sad.
Yeah, you know, it was 28-3 and in the favor of the Falcons, and I turned to my friend and I said, yeah, it looks like that 34-24 Patriots prediction that not turning out like that. It was close, let me say. 34-28, sure, it went into overtime. It was not a 10-point game like that. But from the way it started out to the way it ended, my prediction was very close. I will say that. I'm having a good numbers year with these predictions type things. Been very close or nailed a couple of them. And I said that one of my bold predictions would be that the Patriots would hold the Falcons to under 25 points and that they'd win. The Patriots defense held the Falcons to 21 points. It all came in bunches, but they held them to 21 points, even though at times it seemed like the Falcons offense was just unstoppable. They only gave up 21 points. This Patriots defense played well, especially with the fact that even when they were losing a lot, the Patriots defense was on the sideline for a long time, and Atlanta's defense played admirably for a while. But eventually, 93 plays catches up to you, and that defense, for as fast as it was, got slower, and Brady took advantage of it, and by that time, they were unstoppable. That's how I kind of saw it, the way it went down. Even with New England, even with Atlanta being on top so much, New England was dominating the TOP, mainly because of that pick six.
Yeah, that Atlanta defense is going to be scary soon because they're all like rookies or sophomores.
Oh yeah, Dan Quinn is building Seattle 2.0 down in Atlanta.
Pretty much. I think that they could do pretty well next year because Deion Jones, the linebacker, the rookie from LSU, he played phenomenal in that game. He looked like a veteran out there at some points.
And Jarrett, that lineman Jarrett.
Oh yeah, Jarrett.
Every single time was
Clemson.
getting through the line. The Atlanta rush was getting after him. I did not think that they would have put nearly as much pressure on Brady as they did, but eventually they broke down. And I have to say, I feel so bad for Dan Quinn because both times he has lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. The play call was not his fault. Sure, you could say he's the head coach. He's not calling the offensive plays. Kyle Shanahan does that. He screws the game this time. And it was Darrell Bevel last time who screwed him over. I feel bad for Dan Quinn. I really do. These are now 2 Super Bowls he should have won, and both times his offensive coordinators have screwed him over. Roxbarn.
Also, James White should have won the MVP.
Okay, so the Super Bowl is over. Big deal. I'm over it now. I've gone through my pain just in this little span of time. Let's look to next season. Does this mean Tom Brady retires now? Do I not have to deal with the wrath of Tom Brady?
No, 3 to 5 more years. 3 to 5 more years.
Good luck with that.
That's the forecast for the Jets' failure is in the next 3 to 5 years. Then maybe the skies will clear above MetLife Stadium when it is painted in green. But question to pose: Bill Belichick's getting up there in age. Do he and Brady go out at the same time, and the Patriots dynasty collapses?
Hopefully it's this year.
This year.
It's not.
They'll give it 1 or 2 more runs, I think.
Yeah, I say 2 years.
I'm not saying they won't. They're gonna give it as many runs as they're playing in the league. The 2 of them are coaching or playing in the league. But I'm saying, do they both retire at the same time?
I can see that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or does Belichick even further give his legacy and make himself an immortal by getting another quarterback after Brady and taking him to similar heights? Not the same heights, because there will not be same heights, but similar heights.
I'm gonna have to agree with the latter one. Yeah.
I think.
Well, I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
you're going to be working with Jacoby Brissett if you're keeping Brady for 3 to 5 more years. So.
Well, hey, I think Jimmy. Hey, what about Jimmy G to the Jets?
I'll take it. I'll take anyone right now except Ryan Fitzpatrick.
As good as Jimmy
Jets
G
or
was
the Bills.
during or the Chiefs or the Bears or even the Vikings. I mean, let's
Niners.
just think about that.
Or the Niners.
The
Or the
Browns.
Niners.
The
Or
Browns
any of
thing.
the
You hear
teams
that
QB.
Kyle Shanahan wants to bring Matt Shaw with him to possibly be the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Where has Matt Shaw been? He has fallen off the face of the earth.
I honestly forgot he was alive.
Yeah.
Matt
Exactly.
I
You-
think
you
that's
just-
one case of the
think
wide
he was an
receiver
ESPN
actually
analyst
making the
by now.
quarterback.
The
Didn't he
what?
I think
lead the
Andre
league in
Johnson
passing
made him.
year?
I think he did.
Yeah, and they had Arian Foster. But back to the Jimmy Garoppolo thing, which I think he'll be traded or free agent, sign in free agency one way or another. And probably traded because he's still in his rookie contract.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be trash where he goes because I think it's being in New England. I think he's going to be mediocre at best if and when he is traded.
I wouldn't say trash, but I wouldn't
We're
say
talking
like
about-
He's not
franchise
Matt
quarterback
Castle.
level.
Fine, mediocre at best.
He's not
Mediocre
Matt Castle.
at best.
He's better than
He's
Matt
second-
Castle.
Mm.
I'm not.
He'll be
I'm
better
not saying
than-
he's
Matt
worse than Matt
Castle is terrible.
Yeah, coming from a Cowboys fan, Matt Castle can tell you.
Oh my God, that game against the Giants where
Oh, I remember that.
he was looking for Giants players to throw to. Like, it was so. Matt
Well, hey,
Castle's
when-
awful.
Same thing with Sanchez, and Sanchez actually kept his spot on the Cowboys roster. He was looking for
Yeah,
Eagles
I
to
think
throw to
that
in Week
Sanchez-
17.
What if
I think
Sanchez?
they're actually going to bring Sanchez back.
Sanchez
'cause
back to the
He's got a really
Jets.
good. He has a really good
Honestly, I'll
relationship
take
with
it.
Dak.
I'll take it. He had a couple bad years. He's grown as a person. He was great at the beginning with the Jets. I think he could do great things now.
Sanchez.
You think he can do great things? Any other
Yeah,
storylines
Super Bowl
from
wins
Super
the
Bowl
Cowboys.
51?
More playoff wins than the Cowboys.
There were just so many storylines.
Yeah.
Let's think about this. Obviously, the two great championship games in NRG Stadium, the NCAA championship at the buzzer, and this. But let's just think about the championship season we've had in the last year.
We've been blessed.
We have been blessed. As bad as some people like to say the NFL is, and let's just say that the NFL playoffs this year as a whole were bad. And I thought that this
Two
would
good
only
games.
finish it out when in the third quarter you're like, all right, fine. We'll just finish it out this way. It wasn't meant to be. But hello, this game kind of saved the NFL playoffs. There were three great games. There were two great games.
Two and a
Three
half.
Three
Two and a
good
half.
games.
Yeah,
Three
half.
good games.
Steelers Chiefs is good for a half.
It was a good game. It was not a great game. But
No, Packers Cowboys looked the same as this game, but then the Cowboys came back. But then,
That was a phenomenal game.
Yeah, Packers Cowboys is great.
we had the NCAA championship at the buzzer. You have Cleveland winning in 7 games. They have not won a title since '64, I think. Never have the Cavs won. The Cubs win a World Series in a Game 7 in extra innings. The Patriots come back from 25 points to score 31 straight, and they win in the only Super Bowl we've ever had in overtime.
Clemson over
And the
Bama.
Penguins win the
yeah,
Stanley
that
And
champion.
Clemson wins with 1 second left.
That
Sure,
game
okay,
was-
fine. Nobody cares about the NHL in America, so that was only a 6-game series. Whatever. We have been absolutely blessed with championships. Unbelievable. Honestly, so many great columns and articles to be written about how this year in championships. Unfortunately, there was no American Pharaoh this year.
That
But-
NCAA championship game, I think, was better than the Super Bowl because
Yeah.
that was just back and forth. This was like domination.
Yeah,
The
I
other one
agree.
was
And-
just back
and it was
forth,
really-
back and forth.
And speaking of the domination, it's kind of what I think people felt coming into the game, that Atlanta's offense could tear through the Patriots, and it might be like the 2 prior games. Or it could be that New England could hold them, defense could hold down, and New England's offense would do its thing. And honestly, that's exactly what it was. It just each happened in halves. I mean, the first quarter was mood. Second and third quarter is one half of the game. That was all Atlanta. And then New England just did everything they needed to do in a quarter. So it was even domination one way, domination the other way, and then one drive of domination that was needed. That done. And is anyone here going to bring up the classic argument and contest the new overtime rules? because the team who gets the ball, you could have gone either way. That Matt Ryan could have gotten down and got the game-winning touchdown, but I don't know. I just heard some people calling in on the local radio station this morning and saying, this is why the overtime rules suck. Both teams don't get a chance. I think it's fine. It is what it is.
Drawing comparisons to college football, this game was like similar because both Scarborough went down for Alabama, and then that screwed them over. Then this game, Tevin Coleman went down, and that honestly could have affected the play calling there because Coleman's their power back. And they might have just ran the ball there if they had Coleman, but with Freeman, they might have felt like more prone to a fumble or something. I don't know, but
yeah,
that could have had an effect.
I agree, and especially Roxburn. I'll get you in just a second. Alex Mack's fractured fibula. Did that play in it towards the end as the game wore on? And Schrader, I think, was one of the offensive linemen who tore a ligament in his ankle towards the end of the game. Did that affect the play calling? New England was able to start really getting after them in the late stages of the third quarter and throughout the fourth quarter. That certainly could have played a part. Rothbarn?
Just going back to like your great sports here, it's not over yet. The Daytona 500 is February 26th.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I'm done seeing the dumb Fox commercials.
Get back
With
in
the
the
Daytona 500. We get it. Jimmy Johnson likes racing.
I'm pretty sure the dumb Fox commercials are undisputed.
Left turns
Skip
are hard.
Bayless. I'm surprised you don't like Skip Bayless. Do you like Skip
Dude, I
Bayless?
hate Skip.
Everyone hates Skip.
He's the worst Cowboys fan ever. He's the reason that no one likes the Cowboys. He just exemplifies. He exemplifies what everyone thinks Cowboys fans are like, and then he makes it very public to his 3 million followers.
Yeah, that is actually one of the most genius things I've heard you say. That is very true. I mean, granted, whenever I see a Cowboys fan, immediately 6, 6, and 6 go off in my head. I'm like, oh, steer clear. Don't want to go near these disease filled critters. It's like Brock.
Oh, I just caught it.
Okay.
Even if he did catch it, his knee was still down before he made it into the end zone.
Okay. DeMarco Murray, the offensive player of the year that year.
No, the offensive line was.
Yeah.
All right. Any final
No, they
thoughts
weren't-
on Super Bowl 51, or I think we may call this a night?
James White still got robbed.
Was anyone still unsure of Brady and Belichick's legacy or legacies before this game? Was it not cemented for them?
I think Belichick was cemented, but Brady just ended any conversation.
Yeah, any conversation, and I'm sure they're going to bring it up in Undisputed in First Take, whether it was today or tomorrow or down the road. Well, are their legacies still cemented? And then Skip is going to say, no. But clearly, there is...
No, Skip loves Brady.
I know, but there is a right
like a
answer to
Patriots
this
fan.
question, and there's no two sides to it. Their legacies are clearly cemented. To sit out for 4 games and then come back and then be down 25 with, I don't know,
It was like
22 minutes left. That around like 1.5 quarters left to engineer a comeback like that. Otherworldly. There's no other explanation. And this Super Bowl sucks for 2 teams. This sucks for the Atlanta Falcons and it sucks for the New York Jets because every Jet fan I saw on Snapchat stories all over, every Jet fan watching, they were wearing their Jets jerseys, they were jumping like crazy as that pick 6 happened. Atlanta was killing, and then slowly it all went downhill and they became Jet fans again. Not just anti-Patriot fans like the rest of America,
It's like they were
but
watching
Jet
the Jets.
fans.
The rage I had at the end of that game was insane.
Yeah.
I wanted, just hurt or punch somebody. I was so mad. And then looking at, Snapchat and Instagram and Twitter and all the social media feeds of the Patriots won this and, oh, my God, what a comeback. It just fueled my anger.
I think every single Snapchat story I had, which had to be about 50, were what just happened.
Yeah, every
It was virtually the same
that
wording.
entire that entire game was just shock. Like, the only emotion was shock because they're like, why are we getting killed? And they're like, how did we come back?
Yeah, because everyone was calling the Falcons such big underdogs. I personally didn't think they were that big of an underdog. They have such a good offense. But New England's defense did shut them down, and I think people were just most people expected the Patriots to roll over. I mean, what would we be saying if it was the Patriots who were the Falcons? They were up 28-3.
Oh, everyone would love it.
And well, yeah, of course they'd love it. And the Falcons came back and they won 34-28. And the Falcons were the favorites coming into the game. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd be happier.
We all would.
We would all be.
I mean, not that I really have a problem. I've already made that clear. But I mean,
I just got an update that says LeBron pushing front office to trade for Carmelo, even if it means Kevin Love.
Oh, please, just get him out. Just get him out.
The Knicks need to get rid of Melo.
He is literally a pest, or like someone that injured, an invader that comes into your home that you can't get the exterminator to get rid of. It just hangs around. You can't get rid of him. They need to get rid of him to have a healthy house. You have a functioning house. Carmelo Anthony
the Knicks
cannot
need
be
to,
there.
Yeah.
They
There's
need
like
to
three
trade.
players. There are 3 players on the Knicks that I actually like, and the rest can just like all leave.
You got Porzingis and then Hernan
Kuzminskis?
Gomez.
I like Hernan Gomez,
is good.
Porzingis, and Justin Holiday. That's
And
it.
Ron Baker.
Justin Holiday can be
Ron
like a
Baker.
good role player.
Hey, I went to a Westchester Knicks game and saw Denzel and Jake Layman play. They were good.
Oh, I love Denzel. Too bad he.
One day-
how are the Grizzlies
One
doing?
day my team.
One day.
They're weird. They beat the Timberwolves, but they sat everyone. And like Jermichael Green had 29 points or something.
Michael Green's been putting up some good performances this year.
It was Jermichael Green he like leads, or he's like third in the league in fouls, I think.
Well,
And
that too.
and Andrew Harrison, who plays like 15 minutes a game, is 10th in the league in fouls.
That's pretty good.
And I think everyone knows how much I despise him.
All right. Well, that's we're not going to do any more on the NBA tonight because from now on, honestly, we'll talk a little bit about the draft when that draft time comes around. But we focused a lot on the NFL over the last 4 to 5 months. NFL is taking a step back on Under the Hood. You're going to do a lot of NBA, college basketball coming up.
Baseball.
The golf season is coming up, even baseball. I know golf comes before baseball in my mind. And the NHL, yes, we will talk plenty about hockey now. The Rangers can really be seen. And yeah, March Madness is next
The Daytona
month.
500.
The
And,
Daytona
yes,
500.
and the Daytona 500.
20 days.
The NFL is as great as it was. Amazing finale and cap to a very interesting and intriguing season. Many headlines. It's done. We're not hearing about real football until the draft, and then it is fake football until September. So
When's the Canadian Football League?
there it is, guys. What, you want to watch the Montreal Alouettes on ESPN2 on a Friday night in July?
It's all about the Eskimos.
Yocho.
Edmonton Eskimos.
Cowboys would have beat the Patriots.
Okay. All right.
All right, there, big
Well,
guy.
thank you for watching. I think we're really getting out of hand at this point. So thank you for watching. Have a great night.